Okay, good morning everyone, thanks again for coming. My name is Maria Joins and today I'll be talking about how disaster is portrayed through information technology in the media in what we call the digital age today. When photography and natural disasters usually combine, there are a number of outstanding results that evoke a response of emotions that can range from astonishment and wonder to bewilderment and disbelief. We are now regularly exposed to photographs in the media portraying the devastation caused by natural disasters as they happen, and of images of the aftermath, due to the irrepressible power of nature. Images of destroyed homes, lost lives, and disorder caused within communities. Today we're in an age where 80% of the world's population now has a mobile phone, which in theory can also suggest that 80% of the world's population now has access to a camera, since most mobile phones come with a camera feature built into the device. There are 91.4 million smartphones in the United States of America. In total, there are 5 billion connected mobile phones in the world, out of which only 1.8 billion of these are smartphones. These statistics help demonstrate how connected we are on a mobile and global scale in societies today. Photography has been an ever-evolving format of art. It's forever been adapted to accommodate the general public for personal use. The way photographic practice is implemented today when it comes to disaster has definitely progressed in relation to previous instances. As technology has advanced, it has allowed the public to have greater access to photography than in the past, and with easier access to the camera, it can be said that we are recording visual information at ever-increasing rates. The way we approach photography in natural disasters has transformed, and with the recent event of the initially declared Category 5 Hurricane Sandy, which hit the east coast of the United States as a superstorm in October 2012, really helped demonstrate how we take images, share them online, and access visual information through digital media at real-time speeds. The superstorm, which was amplified due to a number of untimely natural circumstances, left the affected areas on the east coast of the United States without any power to their homes. This resulted in restrictions to televised news broadcasts, which would have been the main port of call for the vital information needed during the storm's progression. However, due to the location of the affected areas, it was still possible for residents to gain access to news and further information through their mobile smartphones. This meant there was still the possibility for these citizens to remain connected during the storm through mobile internet networks. The majority of the network's infrastructure had been able to withstand the conditions that the storm had to offer, and they were able to access as much information, if not more, than they could have potentially acquired through their televisions. Mainstream media companies took advantage of mobile technology, and many were using real-time news feeds online to feed information to users to help enhance their understanding of the storm, so they were able to gain access to news and updates instantaneously. Throughout the event, it became clear that the most powerful and popular method of communicating during Hurricane Sandy was through photography, and social media tools allowed a platform to make these pictures accessible online. The mobile phone application Instagram was the main source for sharing and accessing these images online. Through Instagram alone, there was 800,000 photos tagged with the hashtag Sandy, making it probably the biggest event to be captured on Instagram. Time magazine had employed 5 professional photographers to approach and document the storm, using Instagram as the main medium to publish the images online. The images were sent through to Time magazine's photography blog Lightbox to show the outcome the storm had on different communities. The decision to use Instagram in such instance was intentional. The photography director at Time magazine decided that speed was the essence of communicating the information to their audience, and their choice to cover it on Instagram wasn't an aesthetic decision. It was about having a direct feed, about getting these pictures quickly by 5 photographers in 3 different regions. This benefited the members of the public as they were not only receiving information at a larger scale, but they were also able to share their own photographs to source more localized information to help smaller communities. The popularity of the idea to have the capabilities to share information at real time engaged members of the public, who also contributed to the online image pool of personal accounts of the storm. Many of the citizens in the affected areas were holding up their mobile phones to footages of scene of Sandy's destruction in their neighborhoods. These visual recordings were then able to be posted online via platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and more, allowing them to make their experience accessible to the virtual communities at local and global scales. Although the storm has provided an understanding of how we photograph and share information of disasters in the digital age, it has also impacted the quality of the photographic experience. The technologies of communication have proliferated and accelerated beyond all previously perceived boundaries, and the event of Sandy has confirmed the idea that we have entered a time where the frequency in which we share information is so high, with images being pushed through the media at ever-increasing rates, it can make it difficult for audiences to process the information that they are receiving. With the extensive amount of images produced and published during a single event, it can illustrate a negative effect on the way we view images that are being supplied at such proliferate speeds. This overexposure of information can lead audiences to disconnect from these events. These images audiences are receiving from a distance may not be having such of a desired effect as wanted, due to so much information being available and the difficulty of digesting and appreciating what it is that's being exposed. Assuming that the amount of visual communication can be overwhelming, with so many images being fed into the online stream, ready to be accessed at substantially global scales, it could after some time lead to energy being spread so thin over so many channels that there is not enough current left in any of them to amount to anything extraordinary. As audiences become accustomed to unpleasant images of the suffering and disturbance that has been generated by natural disasters, it could result in less spectacular outcomes in larger quantities, with a contrast of previous responses of a less exposed event with more outstanding photographic accounts. But photography can be said to be a tool which can be practiced by anyone who has access to a camera. As photography is not practiced by most people as an art, it is mainly a social right. The over-industrialization and commercial status of the medium has allowed more images than ever before to be fed through to us at various channels. Although we thrive from visual experiences, the amount of imagery that we can be exposed to can consequently lower the value and standard of the images produced. As we are exposed to so many images, it can be hard to say whether or not these representations can maintain the same level of importance as time goes by. Because of the sheer amount of photographs which have been exposed or even overexposed to audiences during Superstorm Sandy, they may in fact be subjected to lower quality images and experiences produced using mobile phones. But since we are at a demand of wanting to access information instantly, the mobile phone does in fact provide this. And the use of photography during Hurricane Sandy wasn't for artistic representation. The information that was provided through photography at a more localized level was of immediate aid to those involved in the disaster zones itself, as people weren't just interested in looking at photos of Sandy, but actually participating in the news in real time. In the past, we have had images pushed through channels at a steadier rate of exposure. Today, we are seeing more information being pushed through even more channels that never existed 3 years ago. But are we receiving less and less real information that we can act on, and losing or forgetting vast quantities of information at an ever-increasing rate? Throughout the course of Hurricane Sandy, this information was in fact real, as it was acted on, which meant it helped communities prepare and avoid unnecessary fatalities due to the storm's course. The information provided helped many, and because of the advancements in technology and communication, it was possible for people to be guided and updated in order for them to remain safe. Having professional photographers capturing the event using their mobile phones has actually enhanced the audience's understanding of the event. This style of reportage during Sandy triggered a much larger response than what could have originally been intended. With so many mobile smartphones present in societies, it has allowed the users the opportunity to document the tragic happenings in their environment in order to inform and share on how their area has been affected. The impact Sandy had in relation to photographic practice is not about the aesthetic values of the photograph, and it is not about what is depicted within the frame. It is more than that. It is about the development of technology, the availability of the camera, and the accessibility of information through online digital platforms. Again, photography has been an ever-evolving format of art, but photography is not practiced by most people as an art, mainly as a social right. But photography has developed along with telecommunication technology to combine together to produce a medium for the public to engage visually and respond visually through a single device, in order to push these experiences online through mobile internet networks. Sandy has transformed the future of how photographs will now be treated when it comes to sharing the disaster.